Mr. Porter.
Yes. Saucy. Fun times on Just Die Reality. That's what I'm here to do. Always make your reality fun by joining my reality. Thanks for being here with us. So we're going to talk with Tiffany. She's approaching a day that is very important, a birthday. Now, when you see this video, it might be after her birthday, it might be whatever, but just know that her birthday is coming up.
It's on the
she's
horizon.
turning the big 3-5.
Ouch.
Okay, exactly, right? Why is it an ouch thing? Like, we can't be 21
it's
forever.
It's beautiful.
Right? And we can't be 25 forever. And 30 is cool.
Sure is. 35.
35 is even better, especially when you do not look exactly.
Yes.
We don't got no cracks on us. We still know how to suck our stomach in when we go out. We're still doing the damn thing. Yeah. a little hard. I used to hold it in all day.
That was a good one.
35 is a big time, but there's different flavors that I know got to be going through your mind.
So many flavors.
35 flavors to be exact. Now, when you think of mental pleasures, I know you're always inspired. Let's talk about what goes on in the head of Tiffany. What's some of your fantasies? Because anyone that looks on your social media, don't be shy. When you got a good client come through and her body's right, or you know what I'm saying?
I turn into a creep.
You a little creeper thing?
Creep life.
Creep
Yeah.
Savage.
Shout out to the dude.
So creep life. Let's talk about some fantasies. What is one of your fantasies? Let's name a couple. Tied up, wearing Butch Diva, buttless chaps.
I do feel like, and I want to make.
No, we're not talking about.
I know, but
kind
it
of
sucks that,
It sounds good.
It sucks that like I even have to like hold back sometimes on like
we're not
what
talking
I'm
about
thinking.
projects, but yeah.
I know, because I was gonna say that this also would make an amazing project, and I was thinking like.
No one can do it like Butch Diva, though.
I know. Okay, so I do fantasize that just like a bunch of like hot bad bitches are just like in lingerie, trench coats, and fucking like Uzis and like face masks, and we just like all go and like rob a bank together. And I feel like I do have this idea for like
stuff, blah, blah, blah.
and I feel like you just like you just pass the note and just like give me the loot.
Ooh,
That's sexy. And I feel like I get off on that.
I like loot.
Just like
loot.
Oh.
just like women being very sexy but doing things that are very powerful.
Ooh.
So that's a fantasy. I do want to be tied up. I do want someone to have their way with me.
Oh.
I do feel like, when when I'm with a man, just to be clear, because I don't really know what's going on.
I hear you, sister.
But I just feel like, I guess you just want the man to be a man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem with like being, aggressive because I feel like you own your sexuality. But I also just feel like you want a fucking man to like know what you want to just like be a man. But then I feel like if I'm crossing over into the other world, I just think maybe I want to be like the leader, and maybe I need to like take control, and I don't really have time for anything less than that. So I feel like different levels to this show.
Oh yeah.
What would your safe word be?
Safe word?
Yeah.
What's that?
You know your safe word? So you've never been tied up, clearly. So when you're like tied up and people are doing things to you, if you want them to stop, like you have a safe word, because no always means yes. So you can't say no because it's like no, don't stop. So what would your safe word be?
Dying. I don't know. Dying. Definitely dying.
We don't want a case.
Can't breathe. I think,
Dying. I like it.
Dying is a good one.
Dying.
Dying is a good one. All right, well, we got to get you tied up, and we got to get that safe word so you can tell me about that. 35 pleasures, some more things. With pleasure comes a bit of pain, you know? Mm-hmm. Any of worst nightmares? Like, what's some of your worst nightmares? Worst, like, oh my God, no, fuck no.
Are we still talking about sex? Or are we just talking about in life?
Let's talk about in life. I don't want to know what Butch Diva's worst nightmares are. That's still mental. Could always flow right into your head.
Like a wardrobe malfunction.
She likes those.
You like that?
Those are fun.
That's what I'm going through right now.
Those are
always.
Like when the whole shit just like coming off. Yeah.
You're like, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's
I feel like I build something into the outfit that has like a timer.
Oh,
it's like drop now. And then,
I like that. That's back on the pleasure. That's back on the pleasure. We're interrupting it just to see. Any worst nightmares?
You know, I mean, I don't even say this to be funny, but I just feel like, oh God, I really don't say this to be funny. Mm-hmm. But I will say that over the course of the past few years, my dating life has just like, I just go from bad to worse sometimes. And then sometimes I feel like, you know, you can't share these things with people because you're supposed to keep up this image, or some people don't think that you're the one that could settle for that, or you're the one that could deal with that. And I just feel like, I think I'm probably the prototype of maybe the person that ends up like dealing with that. You know, you just like give and give and give. But I say that all to say that, girl, within like 2 years' time, I've dated like ex-cons, murderers, boosters, like thieves, drug addicts, and you never know these things going into it. And the fact that it's been like a reality has been my worst nightmare. So I don't even know if I can think ahead and say like what would be my worst nightmare, but I can definitely say that I can just be brave enough to say that I've experienced some of my worst nightmares.
Wow, that's deep.
And I don't know if I want to experience them again, but I've had, you know, what I assume someone might have tried to kill me if they were able to get past my door. You know, it could have been worse. Like, someone could have completely robbed me blind for everything that I ever worked for. Like, just some real nightmares. And I think the fact that I've been able to survive those things and still come back to Butch Diva, you know, is, like, amazing. But I can't even think about what my worst nightmares would be because I just feel like I've been there, done that.
Wow. You lived the life.
I've definitely been there, done that. So I don't even know what could be any worse. So that's why I say, are we still talking about sex? Because, like...
What's your worst nightmare with sex me?
I don't know.
Like, back to sex.
Maybe if someone thought that I wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah.
Like,
a good
fuck
job?
are you talking about?
Yeah, right. That doesn't happen.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't actually.
What would he do? Fall asleep on you? Like, that doesn't happen.
You know, I do
like,
have,
what's the worst thing a guy can do
nightmare.
sexually?
And if you want to put this out, you can.
Okay.
Because I almost feel like I want to take a poll. And I'm not going to name any names. But I will say that I've experienced some things from maybe some people that I would have never expected that they would do those things. And it ended up being like a worst fucking nightmare. Like, how would you feel as a woman if someone comes into your space, kind of like talks this sweet fucking talk in your ear, and like, you know, tries to like wine and dine you, and give you like tries to fuck the shit out of you.
Tries, operative word.
Right. And in the middle of the night they leave.
I would be so happy.
You
that I didn't have to kick them out in the morning. You did the dirty work for me.
Totally. You can. That's one way, which is completely valid. Because I remember posting a meme one time actually that said like, "I love whispering sexy things into a guy's ear after sex. Like, please go home." But
I wouldn't want them to sneak out.
What if you didn't want that? Yeah.
I don't want you like
what
sneak
if it was
out?
done in a very
You should
like,
tap me and wake me up at least.
You know,
hey, I'm going home.
Something. And even if you tried to wake me up and I didn't wake up,
a little note.
Let's say you tried. Let's say like your excuse was that you tried.
Yeah.
You shouldn't make sure that I got the fuck up.
But who locked the door?
Or, I don't know, it doesn't even matter. Or you should have made sure that I woke up to some type of message,
a note.
Explaining yourself.
No, this is true.
And let's just say that never happened. As a woman, like, because just to say you actually really like this person, so, like, that's a fucking, like, for me, and at that time, that was, like, one of my, like, worst nightmares, because it was almost just, like, I felt like I put you in a different category, and you completely, like, played yourself. You know, I feel like that's what you do, maybe, like, if, like, someone doesn't really mean anything to you, you know what I mean? Or, like, you know what I mean? So that was a sexual worst nightmare, and I had to kind of, like, put this person on pause for a while, and it's unfortunate, you know, but these things happened. But I almost feel like I wondered as a woman, like, what types of things do we allow? What types of things do we subject ourselves to?
I mean, I feel like we just don't know that they're going to end up being a douche.
We never know.
We do not know.
So I think we move forward with the best intentions. We move forward passionately. We follow our heart. And then I think when it ends up going left, it could just be so devastating. Like, and you never want to give someone that much power. But it's almost just like, if you believe in yourself that much, and I just feel like this is how I've had to look at it. I'm like, oh my God, but I believe in myself this much. Like, I know that I'm a good person, I'm fucking special, and I deserve X, Y, and Z. Absolutely. And it really is so, like, overwhelmingly, like, fucked up if you're giving someone your time and energy. Let me repeat, time and energy, because, like, that's what, like, drains you, right? And if you're giving them that to be disappointed by actions such as that, you know what I mean? So then, and then you're disappointed, and then you start, you know, women start talking shit like, oh, I gotta get back to myself. I need to get back to my shit.
But that has nothing to do with you, him leaving.
It has nothing to do with me leaving. It's all
I'm saying, like, him leaving is him leaving.
No, him leaving.
You don't need to get back to yourself. You're fine.
Yeah.
You should be happy he left then and not, you know.
No, I am.
2 months later.
And these are one of these lessons that I'm so grateful for. Like, so grateful for. Because I think that with all these experiences, I'm, you know, and yes, my skin is thick, but my fucking tolerance has become, like, non-existent. Non-existent. To the point where it's just like, if I put my genuine interest and energy into something, that can be my work, that can be my family, that can be my friendships, that can be, like, whatever. But if I give it my genuine energy, and when I need that genuine energy and time and attention back, and I've just learned this about myself even within the last 48 hours, that when I cannot get that genuine time and energy back, it is so fucking, like, life, like, altering, like, distraught to me, because I know how hard I'm willing to go for people. And if I really care for you, oh my God, I'm willing to go, like, so OD hard for you. Here's some money, here's a place to stay, here's some food, here's some pussy, here's some clothes, here's some opportunity, whatever the fuck, you know, I'm down for you. And then the littlest thing, if I can't, like, get it, and again, this is on a, whether it's relationships, friends, or family. I'm not only just bashing relationships. This is all the way around. Even if I can't get it from you as a friend, if I can't get it from you as a family member. But, like, when I can't get it, knowing what I give out, it's very traumatizing. It's very traumatizing. And I think it's, you know, it's unfortunate that people have to hit rock bottom and go through these life experiences to then say, I got to get back to myself. I got to focus on myself. Like, I got to catch up now in my business because, like, I was just caught up in the, you know what I mean? It's just very unfortunate because for me especially, I can only speak for myself, but any little bit of time I get distracted from, like, Butch Diva feels like a fucking lifetime. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we're in a time where things are happening so rapid. Like, things are happening within 24 hours. Like, people can have an idea, put it out, market it, and literally, it could be in a fucking celebrity's hands, practically shipped out, like, all within, like, 48 hours. So to think that I actually have gone through certain spells and nightmares of time where it's all just been, like, you know, revolved around people has been traumatizing. And I can only blame the people but so much because I feel like it's really important for people to be responsible for their own actions. So you can only, like, point the finger but so much until you say, like, bitch, you allowed that to happen.
True that.
That's my favorite saying.
Which the signs were all the fuck there.
They were all there.
True that.
That shit was written on the fucking walls.
Now, do you think that was the former Tiffany of 34? You are entering 35 beautiful flavors that are only going to move forward. Are you making decisions?
I'm entering 35, so like overwhelmed by my own story.
Yeah,
that sometimes I even
yours.
tell. I mean, it's strong. Like I'm strengthened by it, but sometimes I even like tell like certain people around me that are maybe like around me, like my, let's say like the my roommate or just people that have been like around me like on a consistent basis. I'm like, if anything ever happens to me and I do have like a nervous breakdown and I do lose my mind one of these days, and years down the line someone realizes who I was and they want to do like a biopic or something, please make sure they get the motherfucking story straight. Like, please make sure that shit is as real as humanly possible. Like, please don't leave anything out. Because
you definitely have enough information from this interview and many to get your story very straight.
Yeah, but I just think what's really just important for people to know is just like anything is possible, but at the end of the day, we can only take responsibility for ourselves. You can only make but so many excuses. Like, so I can say all of these things I've experienced over the years, and it kept me from this and it kept me from that, but that's why sometimes I'm hard on myself. Like, oh my God, I'm not doing enough because I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And, but I just think that we have to stay strong, and these relationships shouldn't really come around to like define us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pick one.
We are unfortunately running out of time. Tiffany has at least 32 outfits to make. And they're all due. They're all due by Sunday.
I'll do it in the morning.
I was trying to get it to Sunday today, but really, she got to do it by the morning. Right now, shit is real in our U.S. of A. We have President-elect. Were they always saying President-elect?
I don't know who that nigga is.
I don't feel like the President-elect. Whatever. We have President-elect.
Well, they call Obama, so that nigga Trump.
Like he's shown his face since he's been elected.
Trump is going to be your president.
He has been. Oh, he's picking his cabin people and it's horrible.
He picked Ben Carson to run urban development, the only black man.
Yes.
That was a Republican.
Messy, just messy. Shit is real.
Okay, shit is real.
We're in a day and age where, like, how are you gonna, because I'm hearing, like, racism and people with their mouths have progressively gotten a little worse. It's getting real hot out there. So, with the shit being real, with what you're witnessing, how is that influencing or is gonna influence your fashion? You're gonna do, like, the Yeezus route, like, just put, like, fucking t-shirts with holes in it, because that slave wear is looking like.
Why would you say that about Yeezus? He would say he'd vote for Trump if he did vote.
I'm just saying the horrible clothing
that he makes. Oh, that shit.
Yeah. It looks like oppression though.
That's why
and now he might have had a good idea.
Definitely going the Yeezus route. I feel like the most disappointing thing about like even whatever it is that I picked up on Yeezus, whatever that is. But I feel like the one show where just like everyone looked like abandoned like slaves and the Kardashian clan looked like they were dripped in diamonds.
Were they embalming? They weren't even in Yeezy, were they?
No, they were like dripped in diamonds. I just thought that was like confusing. But besides all that, I just feel like I personally, not to even like shy away from it because shit is real, but I personally make a point to shy away from politics for a few reasons. One, because you can only talk so much about what you like actually know, and I'm probably like intentionally ignorant to a lot of things. Because when I make a point to get involved and when I make a point to know, it's so disturbing and it's so discouraging to feel like, is your voice being heard? Are you making a difference? Are you reaching anybody? Is anything going to change it? Like, it's discouraging when technically there's fucking other things that I could be doing with my time and energy that I'm going to see like an immediate like impact or result. So I feel like to get into the whole like political like this and that, it's just like, it's something that I tend to like shy away from, and I just also feel like it's sensitive. Like people that like, let's say for me, somebody that doesn't have a TV, somebody that's not actively watching the news, to then put my 2 cents into something, to a open forum of people that maybe are watching the news, you know, and I'm maybe throwing myself to the wolves, you know what I mean? Like, just like, her, you know, and it's going to, like, attack me for, like, everything that I may think I know and that I may think that I don't know. And then I just think that, lastly, I don't really get involved because I feel like people are so quick to just, like, point the finger at, like, oh, well, it's this person's fault and this is just not. But I just think as a community of just, like, keeping it, like, just starting from, like, what's close and what you can control, I just think that as a community, people aren't even really doing enough for, like, their own people. And so I think that when we get into an environment where we want to, like, blame our new president or blame this or blame the white man or blame that, like, for all of our fucking, like, struggles, like, obviously, like, it had somewhat of an impact for, like, where we are in the state of society. But I just feel like there's so much black on black crime. There's so much ignorance. There's so little positivity on TV. There's nothing just, like, inspirational or encouraging for, like, the community on TV on a consistent basis. Like, you have girls that are literally, like, OD looking up to love hip hop and these characters as, like, icons and as role models, you know, like, even when it's, like, prom seasons, and you're like, I feel like these girls come with, like, the biggest aspirations to look like some of these girls, you know, like, the fact that, like, lashes and this and that and just, like, all of this, like, superficial, like, I just feel like all of that comes from TV, you know, all of that just comes from, like, media. And I just feel like it's also just, like, so big in the community. Like, what are we really, like, focusing on, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like we're bashing each other, you know what I mean? I feel like we're pulling out our cell phones and filming when, like, there's fights and you know, I just feel like all these things are, like, huge problems too that no one is really, like, talking about, or people are just really uncomfortable to talk about, like, how they're not contributing or how they are contributing. And it's just, like, an uncomfortable thing. But I think it's easier to say, like, no, it's this person's fault and this person isn't, like, helping us and this person is about to, like, make it worse. But honestly, like, the easiest thing, and I just feel like for the fastest, like, satisfaction and results is to start in your own fucking, like, environment, in your own fucking community. So if you're not encouraging each other, if you're not, like, uplifting each other, if you're not, like, teaching each other, then it's just, like, you're part of the problem. So I just feel like I tend to stay away from politics because people aren't even comfortable enough to, like, on some, like, man in the mirror shit, you know, like, Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror happens to be one of my, like, favorite songs, but, like, it is also just, like, a lyrical, like, real song. Like, it's easier to point fingers than it is to even look in the mirror, look at ourselves and say, like, how do we contribute or don't contribute to the problem. So I think, how does Butch Diva just, like, fit into all that? I think that with this new project that I'm working on, it definitely is not necessary. I mean, it might find itself onto, like, dance floors, but it just so happens that it's for the intimacy of the home. And it just so happens that, you know, it promotes just having a healthy domestic life, but still being sexy. You know, I feel like because of what's going on in the world, because of just, like, the state of the economy, people aren't partying. People, you know, aren't really inspired to go out and splurge and do this and spend money on this, that. People are fucking chilling out, like, at home. They're trying to figure out, like, how to just keep their fucking man. They're trying to figure out, like, how to just, like, you know, and honestly, like, it has just been such an analytical experience for me. I'm seeing, like, my stripper clients who, like, excuse me, like to, like, make it rain. You know what I mean? I'm seeing them, like, post pictures of, like, Friday night, you know, in front of the TV, this is what it is, you know, and they're fucking excited about it. And I'm just like, the fuck? You know what I mean? And I'm not hating, but I'm almost just like, I'm like, let me be smart about this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about party clothes, and it's not about, like, flashy, or is that, you know what I mean?
Turning up, being lit.
It's about just, like, being in your own fucking space, being comfortable with your fucking self, being, you know what I mean? And still wanting to be cute.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's the way to go. That's, like, where I want to be. I'm assuming, you know, and I'm shown it. Like, that's what my customers are telling me. Like, that's where it's at.
Gravitating towards.
Yeah, and I realize that politics is involved with that. Like, what's going on in the economy is involved with that. Like, So how does Butch Diva fit in? I'm just trying to make people look cute at home.
There you go.
So you're gonna be making some fancy robes with fur.
Maybe not.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I can't advance you any better.
Everyone, we got a client over here ready, but yes.
But I'm just so OD inspired by it because I just feel like it's so smart.
Nice.
I'm inspired by the fact that it's smart.
How long does it take you to start a project?
When I'm OD inspired, it's immediate.
Are we OD inspired?
It's already up on the wall, girl.
Well then,
I'll
next
show you
podcast.
guys. But even one night I was just so overwhelmed by the fact that all the ideas were like right fucking here. Then I was like, I need to empty my brain. And I just like sat here and I just like sketched out everything that was like immediately on my brain. And I was like, how the fuck do I already have like this full collection? It was like a 30, 40 piece collection, you know?
Wow.
Nice.
And it was just like on my brain. So I'm just like,
There you go. That's Butch Diva for you. That is Butch Diva.
yes, I'm excited.
Being inspired.
I'm excited.
So we have a delicious 2017 to look forward to. We have more business. You teach and mentor, and you mentor a lot. You give back to the
Butch Diva would love the kids.
Oh.
Butch Diva would love the kids. Okay.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't want to spend their time and talking to people and saying, "Hey, this is how you can do your trade. This is how you can do your business."
Morning, actually.
Oh,
Look at you giving back.
I know.
You all good for community.
I know, girl. It's just really
She's a
important.
strong black woman.
It's just really important because I just feel like I do think back on Oh, you can come out. Sorry. I feel like I do think back on just like where I was when I was that age, I want to say, or when I was a teenager, like I had at the High School of Fashion Industries, and just like what my resources were, you know, and whether I had to like seek those resources like on my own, or if like I had the proper like role models coming in and talking to us, and like making them, and it was not enough of it, you know. And I just feel like there's not enough of a real voice, because even when you have career day, you have all these fucking corporates that come in and just like
There's nothing that you ever want to do.
and even that is discouraging. They make you feel like, yeah, send your resume and like blah, 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 you know what I mean? But when I was invited to do career day at my fucking high school, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like I literally like remember sitting in career day in the high school, be like, one day I want to talk to the kids, you know? And it was just such like a whirlwind like experience. And I was like, I can't go in there in a suit. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even gonna go in there in like a full fucking jumpsuit.
What did you wear?
A fitted hat, some jeans, and like a t-shirt.
Nice.
Practically.
good.
And
So people
So you look like your community. Like you look who you're talking to.
Yeah, though.
I wanted them to understand that just like years before, you know, I was like exactly where they were sitting. I had the same dreams and aspirations, you know, and I just needed like a real voice to explain it to me. And I just feel like sometimes when, you know, I talk to them and just make them understand just like this hustle mentality of like if you just put a number to it and you have talent to it, and you know, let's say you have this amazing idea and you charge this much for it because it's like amazing, and imagine if you did like 5 of those in one day or 10 of those in one day, you know what I mean? And then just to see like all of their eyes brighten up, you know what I mean? I just feel like, fuck, that was me, you know what I mean? And no one really explained it to me in such a hustle mentality that made me feel like it was so fucking possible, you know? So I was doing this like little after school club with them, teaching them how to whip up spandex. And I was like, all right, imagine this shit is due in an hour. Like, what are you gonna do?
Hustle,
you know what I mean?
hustle.
Like, exactly. And just to see their eyes go from little to big was literally, you know what I mean? It's just such a big deal.
Aww.
Such a big deal. I'm like, what if you wear this?
Butch Diva gives back.
Yeah.
I feel teacher professor. You talk about.
So you told them that just
passion.
because you make a T-shirt and put a saying over it doesn't make you a designer? Did you tell them that?
Oh, yeah, it's not.
Half of Instagram.
Yeah, it's not.
It does not make you a
It's
designer
not
because
just-
you have a fitted cap with a freaking slogan.
So much more
Chris
than
Brown.
that.
Everybody.
And I just think that it's like very important to give back. It's, like,
I feel
so,
like you have a
so
teacher
important.
in your future.
So, but honestly, my mentor really wanted me to take her place when she retired, but and I wanted to. I feel like I want to do it on my own terms, like come in and doing after school programs, like no problem. I think being a full-time teacher, these kids are crazy.
They're mean. And they're mean.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like me coming in there with a fucking t-shirt and a fitted cap, like, they're going to treat me like I'm one of them. I'm not really one of them. You know? And I just feel like it was just like a little skeptical, so I didn't go ham on the whole, like, opportunity. I just wanted it to be more like a select on my own terms, on my own time, before I just get, like, sucked
And you're
into,
too
like,
young
the
for that
education
anyway. You have,
system.
like, your 60s to do that.
Yeah.
I do
You have your
feel-
60s to teach. Design now.
I mean, when I retire, I want it to be very much like a giving back.
Yeah.
Or like in Trinidad, like just making
I
carnival
know
costumes.
you're ready to go there.
Oh, I like Trinidad.
Carnival.
Yes.
All right, so before we end it, we hate to let you go, but we definitely touched on a lot. 35 flavors. We didn't talk about 35 flavors, but we got into the mind of Tiffany and her flavors. We just talked about how you're a boss and how you're maintaining and keeping everything together. The love that you have, taking some bruises and scars. You got a client here
Yeah, you see
about
my
to get a
war wounds.
I see. And most of all, you're still going to persevere no matter how real the struggle is. So if you had to end with a particular saying for the audience, what would that saying be, Tiffany?
Ooh.
So many things I just want to warn people about. I know. How can I just like make it simple, huh?
You can pick two.
Well, I'd say one thing that, like I mentioned earlier, that I kind of just like learned on my own. I think that it's not, it's not about this illusion of how hard you think you're working. I think it's really about how smart you're working, because anybody can physically like work hard and put in all these hours, but you can also spend a lot of hours just like doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Yes. Or you can spend a lot of hours just not having been smarter about it. So I think that if you're going to follow your heart, I feel like, everyone kind of like needs that creative space and that creative outlet. But I think if you're going to do it, you should just be really fucking smart about it. You know what I mean? You should really just like know what you're getting yourself into. You should know just like the whole, you should just dive in, but be smart about it. Like, don't think that just because you put in like 1,000 hours, like that's the winning ticket. Because I think, like I put in 15 plus years. Yeah. And I'm just now realizing that like I have to be a lot smarter about this, So that's kind of what I walk away from it with. Like it's all about being smart.
Be smart. And there's definitely a quote that you said from your recent time on the internet interviewing. You basically have a short window to be recognized and acknowledged. So work smart. So she is true to her word.
I do believe in that.
Smart people, and I believe in working smart. I made a very smart decision to meet with Tiffany that day about 6-7 years ago.
Oh my God,
when she lived in Sunset Park.
Yes.
And she was like, "Why do you want to model?" I was like, I just want to really model. Nobody wants to use me.
It's like, I want you.
She's like, no one loves you. I love you.
Give me those thighs.
No one loves you, Butch Diva loves you. Oh my God.
Let me show y'all the thighs.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to show it. What happened?
Get it on up, girl.
Thank you, Butch Diva, for dressing.
So, you're very welcome, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and Just Die in Reality. You are a very huge part of my reality. Oh my God. Big time. And I just wanted the audience to get to know you, have fun with you, just hear more about you on the way that I could have kind of showcase you. This is what I'm doing. I'm showcasing you. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your sexiness.
It's very, very precious.
Chanel, thank you so much for coming through.
That's what I do. I want to thank you for holding that.
Show out, fuck it up.
That's what I do. I drink, I eat.
There we go. That's
I comment.
All friends here. I love bringing more friends to meet Tiffany. If not one thing, I definitely always bring more people into our life that need to understand this is somebody that you need to get to know and put clothes on you. So it's super dope.
Thank you so much. I can't even tell you what all the love and the support means to me. Thank you.
Forever. I'm not one of those models that just jump in your clothes and then forget about you. But we know who you are. And I'm going to put this interview on your page. No, I'm just joking.
No, I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiffany, for being here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to Just Die in Reality. Thank you for clicking that link. And, of course, there will be more interviews coming up. But just, enjoy this one, hit replay. And now we're going to hug and we're going to touch.
Group hug.